brackets. So in this bracket we have Weifu, Nick Tourette, Cross, Swiftest, and Tansoku. And obviously all these guys are, I know Weifu went on like a 2 winning streak, and then Tansoku himself went on to like a 3 or 4. So all these guys have gone decent win streaks to actually get here. And that's the process. Is if you're new to this tournament, is how these gentlemen got into their group stages is they went through a King of the Hill style bracket that was broadcasted throughout the month. And now, since we're in the later half of the month, we're actually doing the real tournament where they do a group stage, and 3 of these players will actually advance out of the group stage. The first player is going to get a round 1 bye, and then the next 2 players behind him will just get seeded right into the standard tournament. It's double elimination bracket, and then the top 3 players out of that will get cash. First place will get $50, second place will get $35, and then third place will get $15. Okay, so looks like Tansoku is actually ready. So we're going to make sure everything is good. Give us about maybe 10 to 20 seconds, and then these guys are making sure that they select the right deck that they submitted through me. The format of this tournament is in the double elimination bracket. These guys, during the latter part of it, these guys were allowed to pretty much use any deck they possible, because we don't want people coming into the ladder and basically using a counter deck. But now that we're into the main tournament, these guys are allowed to only use one deck. So here we go into the game. Like I said, it's going to be Tansoku versus Swiftest. Nice. And let me double check that this is the deck that they submitted with me while the game is still young. We have Swiftest. Okay, nice. He has a hand lock. And Tansoku is running. Nice, Druid. Alright, fun. So the hand lock is going to start out with a nice threat already. He just mulligans. He's going to keep his Dark Bomb and his Mount Giant. Nice. And then Tansoku is sticking with an Innervate, and that's going to be one of his power plays. He could just Innervate coin a Shredder right here, but his curve isn't really that good. So he looks like he's going to hold on to it. It'd be nice if he probably gets like a Shade next turn. That means he's probably going to Innervate the Shredder out and then allow him to... Ooh, wow, go turn 2 even! Wow, check that out. Top deck into Reckon. There we go. Tansoku's off to a hot start. And these guys, how the group stage is going to work is they fight each other twice. And they fight everyone twice. So each person is going to battle the other 4 people in the group twice. And then whoever has the best games, or has the best record at the end of the night, will go, the top 3 will go on, move on. And Switches is actually able to lay down his first threat on the Mountain Giant. Tansoku will probably have a difficult time removing it, considering he doesn't have a BGH just yet, but when he does, it's going to be rather crucial.
Where shall I strike?
And then the Ragnaros coming in hand. Alright, so he chooses to essentially trade his Shredder off, gets a nice Crocodile out of it. And now he could go for a swipe, but looks like he wants to just Innervate. Is he going to coin Innervate a combo? Yeah, looks like that's what he's going to do. That's going to be... Is that lethal? Oh my god. That's perfect lethal with a Crocodile. The sweet spot for a standard combo is 14 life. But the Crocodile actually boosts up to 18 life, and that's perfect lethal. Wow. Turn 6, boys. Okay then. Nice. So Tansoku's going to take the first game, and we won't even go to a crucial break. I mean, all these guys have to do is, load out of this game, click, choose this deck again, considering they have to use the exact same deck. So we're just going to chill for a minute. And the next opponent probably will be... We're probably going to use Cross 7224 against Tansoku. And that'll be fun. Those guys are both Japanese, so they're probably obviously friends. Yep, and here we go into this next game.
I must protect the wild.
gonna answer Cross's question real fast. Oh, obviously he's Japanese, so we might have trouble understanding that the group started like 10 minutes ago, but it's not a big deal. He's cool. He can fit into these games, you know, very, very slickly. It's not a big deal. Ooh, swiftest. I mean, Tansoku gets a nice wild growth. Now he even has an innervate, but not the best minions to go along with that. Swiftest is able to tap on turn 2 after laying a zombie chow turn 1, so he has a really nice curve right here. Now Tansoku, is he tempted just to wrath this considering he has 2, or does he want to innervate Sylvanas out? That would be really interesting considering it could answer the zombie chow and it could basically threaten to steal whatever huge threat Swiftest throws out, even though he doesn't really have too many big threats in his hand yet. So Tansoku chooses to cycle, which is a nice play. I mean, he gets a Keeper of the Grove for whenever a Twilight Drake comes out, but Swiftest is probably just gonna tap for a little bit. Trying to hit that turn 4 threat. He doesn't quite have it yet, but he might be forced to do like a coin belcher next turn, maybe just to protect his zombie chow, but it looks like he wants to do Ancient Watcher, which is rather interesting. So he's just gonna taunt up his Ancient Watcher. And this kind of, it feels to me that he's playing just super defensively considering Tansoku just straight out killed him so early last game. So maybe he feels a little bit scared, even though Tansoku doesn't really have a great curve this game as well as he did last game. And he gets another Taunt Giver. He doesn't quite have the threats that he wanted on turn 4, so he's just gonna Dark Bomb, maybe a life tap after this, just allow his, you know, cycle to keep rolling in. He gets a Molten Giant a little bit earlier for that, but obviously gonna be huge later on. Okay, so Tansoku, he has both Force of Natures, but not, I mean, Sylvanas is good, but it kind of trades poorly with the board. But alright, we'll see how Swiftest kind of handles this. Sylvanas is always, you know, a beast in herself. Sludge Belcher is probably just going to straight up die, so... Alright, now here we go. Tansoku... He needs a nice Ancient of Lore, I think. If he had that, he'd be off to a really, really slick start. Obviously not a start, but nice mid-game, to be honest. Okay, so I think he's obviously not going to silence. He knows that he needs to keep that for Twilight. I think that he might go for Druid Claw, and he might do like a Wrath for 3 onto the Argent Squire. I mean the Defender, something like that. Or he might just Hero Power and hold. It's a rather interesting turn. Obviously he's thinking about it just as much as I am. He goes with the Bear and the Hero Power. Now where does the Hero Power actually go? Okay, so he prioritizes killing the Ancient Watcher over the Belcher. I guess that's just to assume that he actually wants to steal the Belcher over the Ancient Watcher, and that also does give Sylvanas a little bit lower. Now Swiftest, as far as his turn, he could do his own Sylvanas, or he could just, I'm not sure. He doesn't want to heal bot. He has 2 of those. He's not in any life-threatening situation. Will he just Shadow Flame here? Kill his own board. Now, I think Sylvanas was played first. That means her Death Roll will go first, and I think the slime will get stolen. If I'm remembering the order of operations correctly. The slime should get stolen here. Oh, okay, so Shadow Flame rather than Hellfire. And I think Swiftest knew that the slime could potentially be stolen. So he's just gonna sacrifice his Defender of Argus rather than having the slime, which is slick. I mean, the Hellfire is obviously a little bit more versatile than the Shadow Flame, so really slick by him. I like it. Now Tansoku probably going to a cycle right here, along with a hero power. Yeah, he doesn't have too many big threats. He drew his combo pieces a little bit too early, and obviously that's kind of lagging down his hand. I'm gonna answer Weifu's question real fast. Just give me 1 second and then we'll go back to the game, just making sure Weifu is under complete understanding. Alright, so looks like Swiftest,
I wonder.
he hasn't developed much this game at all. I mean, and now he's kind of... Tansoku had to pass with 4 mana. Now Swiftest is left with 7 mana and probably not able to develop much anyway. So I guess Sylvanas is the choice. It trades kind of decently with the board, yet there's not too much on the board they could steal, so we might see a swipe come out here just to clear it off after trading in your dude. And that'd be solid. But the development after that might just be like a Shade and a hero power. And obviously the Shade could die to a Hellfire. So these guys are not getting the most slickest starts. I mean, obviously Tansoku game 1 had a huge start with a like turn 7 kill, but here in game number 2, kind of lacking. He's gonna give over Force of Nature. He probably feels fine with that considering he has 2. Oh, going for... Okay. Oh wait, cool, yeah, that's standard. Alright. So trades, kills Sylvanas, and develops a Shade. I don't know what Weifu is essentially asking there. That is the opponent that he's facing. Maybe there's an error in that battle tag. Let me check just to make sure. That should be solid. Anyway, just back to this game. Hopefully Weifu can figure out any battle or friend issues on his end. So I would like Swiftest to throw down a Ragnaros. Obviously has 50% chance to kill the Shade and develop his board nicely. His other plays might be including a Lotheb, but you may want to save Lotheb until you're actually threatened by the combo. He's just gonna tap, so that, okay. So maybe he feels threatened by the combo even though he would have been safe, even though he did... I guess the tap kind of made it lethal, but Lotheb's protecting him now. The Ragnaros would have been fine anyway. He would have been one-off lethal. He threw down the Ragnaros and the Ragnaros misses. But now here we go. Tansoku has almost his whole hand blacked out, considering he only has 1 minion and all spells. I'm guessing Tansoku is trying to save the swipe for lethal, considering he just got the second half of the combo. And that would mean... Oh, Swiftest does have 2 heal bots, so it would actually be rather interesting about how to play that out. He has 1 innervate, so kind of tricky to do a combo and a swipe in 1 turn. And Tansoku's just gonna maybe just hero power the face, and hopefully the Shade is not hero empowering the face at all. So he's going to leave him at 18, which is fine. He has lethal, actually more. The Hellfire's going to deny that, and a heal bot. So Swiftest knows exactly what's going on. He's reading this very, very well. Now Tansoku has a BGH for any giants that come out, but he's not quite there yet. There is 3 giants in the hand, and Ragnaros too, so BGH is going to do some serious work, probably double time. So is Tansoku just going to hero power down for both of them? And then is he just going to sit on his 4 mana? I think that's the play. Yeah, he's just gonna sit on that 4 mana. Twilight Drake obviously needs to save his keeper. And here we go with the keeper. And Tansoku has basically the perfect answer for what just happened on the board. He's probably just gonna hero power the Drake down once it does have that one life. And Tansoku basically has the double combo. And let me think about that. That's that should be 22. Yeah, that's 22 damage. Okay, so that's lethal right there, and he's going for it. So Tansoku's terrible start allowed him to pull out a crazy game against Swiftest. Alright, Tansoku takes game number 2 against Swiftest. Okay, let's look at the brackets. Make sure I get this lined up correctly. So as we can see, Tansoku won the last game against Swiftest, and that was just the first game of the night. We'll have plenty of games to come, and looks like we're loading into Tansoku versus Cross here shortly. And these guys are just starting up. So just give them a sec. And we'll be ready for them to start battling. We do have 4 contestants online right now. The only one that we're missing is Nick Tourette. So hopefully Nick Tourette obviously gets online. He submitted a deck and everything. So we knew that this was happening tonight, and I sent him several reminders. So he's probably going to be ready here shortly. And obviously we had a problem with someone. Dr. Batman didn't show up last night, and we just gave everyone a win against Dr. Batman. So it's not a big deal. We'll deal with it if Nick Tourette doesn't show up. But Tansoku versus Cross should be loading up here shortly. Yep, and there we go, into the game. So these guys, like always, are going to battle each other twice with a submitted deck. So they have to use the same deck twice. Just make sure we can see Cross's hand. Ooh, we can't. Okay, so hold on a sec. And we'll let him fix his settings so he allows spectators, which is kind of important. We kind of want to watch the game. And we'll have to reload this spectator mode once he does fix his settings.
My greetings. I greet you. My greetings.
Alright, so we're gonna reload this. I'm sure he's fixing it. Yeah, there we go. So let's go with Tansoku first. Then we'll do... And let's grab Cross. There we go. Nice. So looks like we have a Demon Warlock versus, you know, Tansoku's Druid. And just let me make sure that this is the deck that Cross submitted to me. Yeah, nice, it is the same Demon Warlock, so... Ooh, even have Molten Giants in there. So starting out with the tap. Now, next turn, he might tap, he might throw down like a egg, considering he has a turn 4 activator. But maybe just activating an egg, it really isn't the best way to use Argus. Especially when you have Moltens in your hand. So he's just gonna tap. Alright, so... Tansoku was able to Wild Growth, so he's obviously building up his own power quite a bit. He's actually going to do an Innervate Coin Ancient of Lore on turn 4. Actually, like turn 3 for him, so this is a turn 3 Ancient of Lore. And he gets another Innervate straight out the bat, so that looks really slick. That means next turn he could potentially just do another Ancient of Lore on turn 5. And Implosion comes down and try to answer it. Maybe Tansoku goes with a Swipe? And then followed up by an Innervate Shade. That's what I'm at least looking at when I first see the situation. Other options would be to Innervate another lore. Obviously, like we mentioned before, he could just do a Shredder and then just go for face maybe. I don't know how much value you're gonna get out of Swipe against the Demon Warlock, but this is probably a decent time to use it. Might be feeling the same vibes.
What to do?
Yeah, and he goes for it. He just chooses to pass the turn rather than intervening out the Shade. And I guess that would leave your board rather vulnerable to any AoE. But Cross gets another Implosion with 4 damage this time. And now the second swipe is not in hand, so it looks like he's going to Shade and Hero Power. I mean, Shredder and Hero Power. Start whacking right away at these imps. The Shade could die. I mean, the Shredder could die, but the second half will obviously stay alive. If Cross does nothing, but he has plenty of plays. Next turn is obviously going to be Dr. Moon. Abusive Sergeant is really slick right here. That gives him 2 chances, or 2 damage to essentially
My seal for Argus.
kill the 2-mana guy, and he's going to go for it with even a Mortal Coil. So that leaves a really dangerous board for Cross. And Tansoku has a few options, I guess. He might do like a lore, he might do a Belcher. A lore works really well. Okay. He gets a Black Knight along with the rest of his combo. He has like a double combo in reverse order. He has 2 Force of Natures rather than 2 Savage Roars. But obviously he could just use 1 Force of Nature like he did last game to clear the board.
So many possibilities.
Alright, so turn 7 for Cross. Maybe he's feeling a little bit hesitant about committing to a Dr. Boom considering his board is so full already. Now, other options besides Dr. Boom? I'm not sure. Looks like he's just gonna go for it. And now his board is like full with some decent stuff. I mean, not all of it is trash. He's just gonna go for face, I guess, with the majority of his stuff. Oh, never mind. He's gonna trade his 3 little guys in. Interesting that he chose to keep the Abusive Sergeant alive. That's just interesting, I guess. The Black Knight probably doesn't want to go down on that. Probably a taunted up Giant would be the best target. So now Tansoku's Tansoku's in a rather interesting position. Further development would probably be Sludge Belcher along with a Shade. But obviously your board is just gonna die to what Cross already has on board. It's hard to really get rid of Dr. Boom without, you know, BGH swipe stuff.
What to do?
But he has options. The Wild Growth obviously saved till turn 10. He could do like a Force of Nature now, and that would... Okay, so he's going to go for that. I'm guessing that he's going to clear out a lot of the Boom Bots. Never mind. Is he going straight for base with everything? Okay. That's probably a huge tell to Cross saying, oh my god, this guy has the other part of the combo, and we're even coming up on turn 9 for the combo. So Cross has to heal or taunt. Obviously he has options for both. Well, actually he can't taunt, but he can heal. It's alright. We'll live another day. He has 1 mana off being able to throw down that Molten Giant along with the heal bot. And he chooses to develop an egg rather than tap, which is smart. Now here we go with the Wrath. Nothing for the Black Knight just yet, but I'm guessing we might see like a Sludge Belcher here. He doesn't really have any like neutral minions, I guess is the best way to call it. We might see a Silence on the egg. That Silence basically just did like 4 damage. He's gonna start with the Wrath, maybe Wrath for 3 onto the heal bot. Okay. And a Hero Power before laying down the Sludge Belcher. Nice. Okay, nice. Boombot hits for 1, so not really a big deal at all. Ooh, Mal'Ganis. And he has a Void Caller to summon Mal'Ganis too. We could even see something like a Void Caller Shadow Flame. Just to clear the second half of the Belcher and then summon Mal'Ganis in the same turn. Or we might see like a Siphon Soul, considering druids don't really run, well, especially this druid. This druid is so combo oriented. The Siphon Soul, the Sludge Buster might be one of the better plays. Looks like Power Overwhelming onto the egg looks like a play. I'm guessing Immortal Coil is going to follow that up. Nice, okay. And that leaves Dr. Boom basically at 6 life. He's even going to tap, so he has 2 Twilight Drakes. And he chooses to save the Twilight Drake, probably because he has an Alganis and he feels comfortable getting it out at such at this life total. Now, that, oh my god, that's double combo, and like we did last turn, 22 damage. So Tansoku is just taking it to these guys, these Warlocks in particular. He's gonna win another game with his double combo. Alright then. Okay, so these guys will obviously load up their next game, and we're not even going to go commercial break, we're just going to chill. Let's actually get some music playing while we chill. Alright, let's get into this next game. Game 2 against Cross and Tansoku, both Japanese players, both extremely good friends. Both running the exact same deck. And looks like, alright, so no Innervate, but a lot of Void Callers for Cross. Tansoku has plenty of silences, no huge start just yet. He might be kind of sad about his head. Even he gets the combo rather early. Yeah, first half of the combo. Okay, so Shade is nice for next turn. That gives him a nice 3-4 curve. But not really too much to do on 2, so he's just gonna Hero Power. Cross is also doing his Hero Power on 2, and he gets Mal'Ganis to work with his Void Callers. And he also has Jiraxis in there too, right? Yeah, so he has both his huge demons, along with both his demons that summon the demons, so... Alright then. Tansoku gets a top deck Wild Growth on turn 3. He didn't play it, so that means we probably see him play it maybe like a turn 5 after he plays his Shredder. We might see a Silence here on that Void Caller. That'd be big. Yeah, he's gonna go for that.
I must safeguard.
Nice, okay. He chooses to hold his Shade. Now, Abusive Sergeant, that could kill the Keeper, keep his demon alive. Other options would be another Void Caller, to be honest.
From the void,
Yeah, he goes with another Void Caller. Alright, and he even trades into the Keeper. Now, okay, so Tansoku doesn't have a nice 5-drop, but he has plenty of other drops to go with. Maybe a Hero Power and Shade. And that would just put so much danger on the board. The Hellfire... Ooh, he's even a Wild Growth up to 7 mana for next turn. Not too much to do with that 7 mana, but maybe he's just trying to get to the combo as soon as possible. Black Knight's kind of... or I mean... He needs a Black Knight to get rid of that Belcher before he does any combo fun. But he gets a nice 8-drop, considering he Wild Growth last turn. So obviously Ragnaros is probably going to see play next turn, but right now? I'm not sure. Now notice how Cross has 2 Hellfires in his hand, so he can deal with these Shades with those cards, but that's going to put him down rather low, and he's already seen the burst from Tansoku, bursting 20 damage in one turn, 22 in the other games. Now as far as other plays, we could just see him do like a Shredder Hero Power and then just hold on all your minions. That would almost bait out guaranteed 1 Hellfire, maybe even 2.
time waits for no one.
Tansoku's trying to figure out the best way to do this. He's actually going to silence the second Void Caller. So both Void Callers have been answered by Keepers of the Grove, which works rather interesting, but that means the Twilight Drake is going to come out in full power. He could even tap here to get juiced up even more. Maybe he's going to do a Nerubian Egg Hellfire, which would be really slick. But that would almost damage his own board almost just as much as damaging his opponent's.
I wonder.
Alright, so Cross. I vote that he probably does the... Okay, so he's gonna tap, and then that probably signifies... Oh, okay, so Hellfire. So how does he trade this? Okay, so Belcher to face, and the other guy trades off. Now, Wrath is nice, but Ragnaros is also very tempting. Ragnaros would put him at the 14 life, considering he has the combo in hand. And then, obviously, if it goes for the Belcher, it's going to kill that. So, both targets are decent. He's going to do it with a Wrath instead of Ragnaros. Kind of disappointing. We always want to see the Ragnaros come out. He's going to Shredder along with that Hero Power. Maybe not even attack. Yeah, he's going to put the guy down to 1. Now, Cross, though, he's feeling the pressure. Obviously, he's probably going to Hellfire, to be honest. I'm feeling a Hellfire just to kill both minions. One minion will stay alive in that 2 mana from the Shredder. Ooh, Power Overwhelming. Okay. Does that mean he's going to Hellfire after killing the Shredder? That'd be really slick too. Okay, yeah, that works. So Cross is denying any such minions from Tansoku on turn 9, which is big. I mean, if one of them lived, you know, with 3 attack or more, he would have been dead. Now, a Ragnaros, obviously, I want that to be played, but he might go with like a Sylvanas, maybe a little bit more conservative. Obviously, I don't think he should do the combo just yet, but we've seen him do crazier things when he knows that lethal is above. So I vote Ragnaros, and he feels the same way. Nice. And it goes for the minion, which I think that's a good result for him. He maybe wanted face considering he has the combo in hand, but you know, the minion's not bad. Cross is going to life tap and Siphon Soul, put himself back up to 20. So Tansoku gets a nice minion right there, but that doesn't allow him to play both his minions. That does give him an extra body for Savage Roar, and considering he's kind of at that point where he almost has lethal with 4 minions on board, so this could be decent if it survives, and if Cross is not able to heal or taunt, which we don't see any such options in his hand just yet. Sylvanas is going to be a big deal. Ugh, excuse me. So Cross might answer with his own Sylvanas. Now if he does that, he's dead. But other options to taunt or heal, I see none. Let me make sure all the cards are very visible about what they are so we don't miss anything. I guess he could Imp Implosion, but that doesn't even kill it. Yeah, he has no way out of this. I think he's just dead here. And Tansoku is going to take, potentially, if Cross doesn't do something miraculous that we don't recognize right now, Tansoku is going to take his fourth game and basically second win.
I wonder.
And basically slaughtering everyone in his path.
Almost out of time.
Okay, so he goes with Mal'Ganis. Does that save him? He's obviously gonna steal Mal'Ganis, and I think Cross realizes that that's his only option. But stealing Mal'Ganis is really nice. Obviously, an Imp Implosion can take care of it, dang it. Okay, so we didn't even recognize that possibility. So Cross obviously knew his deck a little bit better, so here goes Tansoku to steal Mal'Ganis. And does he develop a Sludge Belcher right after that? Yeah, so he's going to go for the steal. Mal'Ganis is going to be left at 2 life. That means an Implosion will just answer it. The Sludge Belcher does put a nice body on the board. And, okay, so Cross needs... He needs a taunt or a heal. He's going to have an 8-mana Molten Giant. There's a taunt, so we're probably going to see Twilight Drake. Well, if he does Twilight Drake and Argus, that doesn't allow him to kill Mal'Ganis. So it looks like he's just going to taunt up his imps. And he gets 4 of them, so that's good. He was guaranteed to kill anyway with the 2 damage, but he gets the maximum number of imps. Now, does he... He maybe even throws out a Zombie Chow just to get the extra life there. But he's going to probably end up taunting or he's dead here, and he probably knows that just as well as we do. Tansoku does have the swipe to potentially kill a lot of these guys. But that means that he's not going to be able to play the combo, so this game will go on for a bit.
So many possibilities. Almost out of time.
Okay, so he goes with the Zombie Chow. Now he's probably going with an... Oh, interesting. Alright, welcome back everyone. We're able to load in the next game. We got Tansoku versus Weifu. That's what this gentleman wants to be called. He is Taiwanese, I do believe. So he wants to go by the name of Weifu, which is obviously very easy for us to work with. He is sporting the Oil Rogue versus obviously Tansoku's extreme combo-based druid. Let me just double check that Weifu is running the same deck that he submitted to us. Yep, awesome. It's the Oil Rogue too. Nice. Okay. And looks like he's off to a decent start. He's got the preps. He's got the Farseer, and the Violet Teacher. That's probably some really nice minions you want to start out with. Tansoku, I'm not too lucky just yet. He has no Wild Growth, has no Innervate. The Shade is decent, but I bet he would want those ramping spells a little bit more than the Shade. I mean, even more than the Force of Nature and the BGH even probably too. Sludge Belcher looks like okay. So hopefully he gets a 4-drop, and that would give him a nice curve after he wasn't able to Wild Growth anything out. Weifu is just going to set up a Violet Teacher.
Attention, class.
He realizes that it's probably relatively safe against a Druid. Now, does the Druid silence the Violet Teacher? That would be pretty slick, I would think. This is only 4-drop. And he's gonna go for it. Maybe silence or 2 damage to kill it with his Shade. Either way it works, he is the professional. We'll let him make those hard decisions.
What to do?
I personally would just probably silence and keep my Shade in stealth. But I am a scrub, so they have to let him kind of figure this one out. Other options besides silencing or doing 2 damage is obviously just the hero power. He probably doesn't want to throw down a naked BGH because Edwin could be in this deck. And then any oiled up creature, I guess the only creature that could potentially be oiled up and be a threat would be an Azure Drake. So BGH probably not going to get too much value beyond Edwin, even if he's running it. We could take a look, but that's kind of cheating. So he's going to go with a silence play, maybe? No, 2 damage play. Alright, cool, and it just sacrifices his Shade. So basically Tansoku just got rid of one of the biggest threatening minions from an Oil Rogue. Now as far as development from the Oil Rogue, he could go up with another Violet Teacher. Now Tansoku probably wants a Wrath to help take care of this one. Other than that, he might just go with the Lotheb to basically kill it off. Sludge Belcher, I doubt it. But we could leave that up to him. So I guess he could go with the Savage Roar to kill it, but he loves the combo, so he's probably not gonna use it. And Rogue always loves running their face into stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if Weifu just got himself down to like 20, 18 life just by running his face into things. And then that's kind of when Tansoku is at his prime, is when your opponent's at 18 life and you have a minion or two on board and you just die. Yep, and here we go, the Rogue's running his face into things, but he's able to heal up a bit, probably gonna re-dagger. That leaves Lotheb able to take out this Violet Teacher without really any spells going off, considering the Lotheb was played nicely to block any of that out. Obviously you could go with a 5 mana prep, but for a 1/1, probably not the best to sacrifice your whole turn for. Weifu's really thinking about this. Yeah, I think it's a solid play. Just heal up, re-dagger up. And obviously your Violet Teacher is going to die, but you're going to have a fresh dagger, and you're going to have prep, sprint stuff for next turn. And that will still give you 2 mana to work with after the prep sprint. Okay, so Innervate finally comes in hand for Tansoku. That's his first ramp card in this game so far. So that's why we kind of see him struggling just to maintain board control. But as far... Okay, so he's probably not going to need to Innervate this turn, unless he goes with like a double minion shenanigans. With like a BGH and a Sludge Belcher. But as far as that, I would guess that he just throws down the Sludge Belcher and just relaxes after that. He might even attack... I would highly doubt he attacks face. I would think that he would just attack the Violet Teacher, protect his Sludge Belcher at the 2 health. Nice, and he does that. Okay, so... SI7 Agent is nice here. You have plenty of combo pieces, but he can't prep Sprint and SI7 Agent. That would be 7 mana. So we might see him start the combo off with a Dagger or a Deadly Poison. I would be willing to bet that 100% he plays as a 7 agent, but what order? He might do like a sap, he might do something else to start the combo off.
So many options.
Rogue's at 28 life, so no combo threat just yet, even though the Innervate is in hand, so combo could be coming out next turn, but I guess if both these minions do survive, that is lethal, theoretically. Here, we'd have to... Here, let's count. That's an extra 7... it looks like he's still off lethal, with both these minions still on board, but I'm guessing... Yeah, it looks like both of them are going to be taken away with the sap and SI7 agent. That leaves him one mana, probably not going to be used on the Deadly Poison.
This guy's tough.
He's taking up his whole turn there to go with that play, and it works. Nice play. Now, does Tansoku just lay down the Sludge Belcher again? I think it's good, and then he could even Innervate out a Shredder. Obviously, that's good too. Obviously, both Death Rattle minions, so whatever does survive will be used for the combo next turn, but I highly doubt we can't even see the combo because then he just used the Innervate, so we'll have to hold on a bit. Board control will... Looks like Tansoku is trying to claw back for it. We're obviously never going to see any taunts from this Oil Rogue, so the Black Knight will have to come down just as a vanilla Yeti, 6 mana Yeti. Alright, the Prep Sprint looks like it's the weapon of choice here. Weifu is probably not too happy about having to run his... Oh, excuse me. Having to run both his minions into the Sludge Belcher, so he's probably going to find any rogue tricks to answer it. He gets a second sap. That means both saps have been used on the exact same Sludge Belcher. We could see him like prep out a oil just to kill it, but probably not. And it looks like sap is gonna be it. I guess that works. Now is he gonna run his face into that? Yeah, okay. Ooh, oh, Tansoku gets a below average draw. Not the best, considering it's a battle cry style minion where you kind of want the battle cry effect. Tansoku's gonna go for. If he's feeling super ballsy, I guess he could go with a charge through the claw. I would assume not. He's probably gonna taunt it. He knows the guy has no more saps. Oh, is he gonna go with Force of Nature? Okay. That's obviously just to clear the board. Wow. And he even uses all three to clear the board rather than just two when using the extra hero power. So, valuing his own life a little bit higher than his opponent's life. One more Force of Nature in the deck, so that has to come down soon. I mean, that's going to be his win condition. But until he sees that, probably going to see maybe a Black Knight here soon, considering it's going to be a dead battle cry effect anyway. Alright, so both them? Alright.
This guy's toast.
And I think he's going, now he's going for a full face here, considering he has 2 oils in his hand and a combo activator. He's gonna have the perfect 9 mana next turn. Now Weifu could set up, Tansoku could set up a taunt. The taunt obviously will just get blasted down. I think the Sludge Belcher is a little bit better taunt here. But what he chooses to actually go with the taunt.
What?
Maybe a naked VGH. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see the Sludge Belcher coming down and then a naked VGH. I think that's the play. That would allow him to live, probably past the 2 oils, but you know, Rogue have their ways. No Blade Flurry, so the oils would do some serious work with the weapon attack, but the double dagger, well actually he doesn't have a dagger up, to be honest. But he could prep out 1 oil to get the dagger up anyway, so yeah. Sludge Belcher has to come down. Naked VGH as well.
I've got the beast in my sights.
Alright, so can Weifu get lethal through this? It's probably possible, but we're gonna let him necessarily do the math. We could start working on it as scrubs. So let's take a look here. Let's assume that he uses these 4 cards, the prep, the Saucy Deckhand, and double oils. Now, every minion will be able to attack, so let's just randomly assume that this guy gets both oils, so it's going to go up to 9 attack. This guy trades into the first half, the Saucy Deckhand trades into the second half. This guy attacks face for 9, and then the dagger now has 7 attack.
I wonder.
So that's not going to be enough for lethal. No. Okay. We figured it out. He does not have lethal this turn. And I think that's the most efficient way to do it, the way that we just did it. Having this guy kill the first half and then the Saucy Deckhand kill the second half. Assuming this guy absorbs both oils. That's probably the luckiest way to do it. He's going to start out with the dagger prep. Never mind. Dagger Hazard Drake. Okay, so he's just going to kill the Sludge Belcher. And the Saucy comes down just to kill the BGH. Ooh, a swipe. That's probably what he wanted, but that only kills 1 minion on the board. Obviously, he has to take some base damage if he wants to kill anything else. Now Tansoku might start with the Wild Growth, just to get some card draw rolling. The Rogue is quite a bit into his deck. He has 12 cards left. Druid's at 17. This probably isn't a matchup considering both of these are fairly aggressive decks. if you think about them as control-y style aggressive decks. So fatigue probably won't be real. I mean, you see fatigue as a rogue if you're playing against like a warrior or a priest. Tansoku is going to start with some card draw. Sludge Belcher's nice, trades fairly well with the board.
Time waits for no one.
But he can't swipe and Sludge Belcher. So he might go with the... yeah, I guess he's forced to swipe. Now we know that it's lethal on board. But with that swipe, it probably removes some. That's 8 on board. Oh, he's gonna remove something. Okay. So that's 3 on board. So that's 6 plus another 6. So that's 12. Plus, okay, so that's 18 according to my calculations. So I think he's just dead. Does Weifu just have to prep and then double oil and he's dead? I think so. This guy will go up to 9 attack. Yeah, looks like he's going for it. So the first opponent that actually takes a game off Tansoku tonight is going to be Weifu. Yeah, there we go. 1 damage over lethal, nice. So these guys will load up to their next games. We're just gonna chill. Well, let's play some music while we chill. And obviously this is a Warlock Mirror. They both are using their submitted decks, which Swiftness is using like a hand style version. Cross is using a demon style version. And these guys, as far as the bracket looks, these guys are tied at the moment. But this should be pretty good. It's obviously going to break the tie. Well, I guess the tie could be held if both of them win one game, but it should be fun anyway. Now, Swiftest doesn't have any big threats in his hand just yet, but Cross does have the big threats rolling in. So it looks like Weifu is able to come back, but that's a different series. We'll get to that series eventually. As far as this one, I bet we're going to see some life taps for quite a while. As far as the first minion developed, I'm guessing that Cross will actually develop his Twilight Drake as the first one to hit the board, considering he has no demons for his Void Caller.
Job done.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to see a coin. Ancient Watcher after a life tap. And that's kind of what you have to do if you have the coin. You have to play something before turn 4, or else you'll just, you'll overtap yourself. You'll burn a card. Now, Cross obviously has his choice of a Twilight Drake.
I wonder.
Alright, so it looks like Weifu was able to get back, so we'll go to the Weifu game after we finish this series against Swiftness and Cross. So here we go with the Twilight Drake. Now, Swiftness is able to get his own Twilight Drake, probably with similar health. And how will these boys essentially trade? Obviously, Swiftness can't do any trading just yet. Cross is going to be making the first initiative about how these guys trade. He might set up a Sludge Belcher. Okay. A Void Caller would be rather interesting considering he has no high power demons. He only has other Void Callers. And as far as trading, he says, screw it, I'm going for face. Now he does do the Void Caller, which I find rather strange. It might be a bluff. Swift is probably not going to kill it, just thinking that it's a bluff, but it basically is a bluff. I mean, he has no huge demons. He only has a Void Caller. And he's... Oh, so this is not going to have any of that shenanigans. Oh, never mind. He's going to silence the Twilight. Mortal Foil. Like, the perfect answer. Now, does he follow that up with a Dark Bomb or something? Maybe a tap? Yeah, a tap. Okay, nice. Okay, so Cross... he gets a Power Overwhelming, which could be nice here. that would allow him to basically kill his Void Caller while killing his opponent's minion. Other options, he has plenty of... Okay, so he's gonna start with the Murica on the Owl. Maybe seeing... Ooh, Infant Potion. That could be really nice. The BGH and the Abusive Sergeant are probably going to be used together, so probably not going to see that this turn. I would suspect we might see a Implosion. Actually, just a Hellfire. Does that work too? Hellfire plus throw your guy in doesn't essentially kill the Twilight Drake. So he's almost like 1 damage short all around. He would have to get super lucky on the Implosion. He might just go for that. We've seen him roll 4 before. We've also seen him roll below 4, so you know.
Almost out of time.
Alright. It's coming down to the wire. He has to choose. And he goes with a hopefully lucky Implosion. He does not get lucky, so he's forced to use the Abusive Sergeant to actually clear that out. The Void Caller does come down. Swiftness is probably relieved to see that, to be honest. Now these little guys could just die to a Hellfire. Now is there a Shadow Flame in deck? That would be really nice. No. Oh yeah, there's one. So I guess he's not going to do a Shadow Flame. He probably wants to keep the Void Caller alive for as long as possible. Even though there is no demon in the deck. Yeah, still no demon. The egg is a nice activator. I mean, it has plenty of activation through the 2 Hellfires, even the Power Overwhelmings. Now Ganis, that's another big one. Alright, so do we see maybe a Hellfire after trading in the Void Caller? That would summon Mal'Ganis. And as far as answers from Swiftness, he does have a Siphon Soul. That would be a really nice answer to Mal'Ganis. Alright, so I vote we see the Hellfire, but he's going to go with the Sludge Belcher, which is obviously really nice. Now how much trading does he essentially do here? He's going to actually trade the majority of his board, which works, it works nicely. Swiftness gets his own Jiraxxus. He has no big threats. He would probably want... Actually, he has Dr. Boom, that's one that could work out. Oh, I think okay, so I see on my friends list that Tansoku is spectating a friendly battle. I'm guessing that he's actually spectating Cross's battle, considering they're both really good friends, so that's cool. Obviously these guys have their decks locked in at this point, so it doesn't really matter if other competitors spectate the games, considering you know what deck you're playing and you know what deck you're going to be facing. Just depends on how well you play it. So here we go with the Sylvanas. Now Cross, can he answer that Sylvanas efficiently? I guess he could... it'd be kind of interesting considering if he trades in his guy, obviously Mal'Ganis will get summoned. You don't want to basically give that through Sylvanas. But if he doesn't, then that means Swiftness could summon his own demons, which right now he does have Jiraxxus. Right? We saw the Jiraxxus. Where is it? Ah, there it is. At the very end. Okay, so he's gonna start with a Life Tap. Ooh, Doomguard. So that would leave a 50-50 to get a Doomguard, but yet the Sylvanas does kind of kink your own little buttons to, if you want to essentially do any trading with that. Hopefully he doesn't play it naked. That means that he's gonna potentially throw away some huge cards. I mean, he has the Molten Giant. He has some really nice cards. He has to figure this out quickly. Quickly now, quickly. He could just basically ignore Sylvanas potentially, considering Sylvanas probably can't kill herself. Ooh, and he gets... I don't know if that's what he wanted, but it definitely does look nice. I don't think that you would need Mal'Ganis this early, so I think the The Doom Guard is rather nice. I think that is a good coin flip there. They just basically won. Now, Sylvanas is going to start whacking away at the Sludge Belcher. Does that leave open a Dr. Boom turn? Or maybe, let's see what else options he has. I think Dr. Boom would be... He might do a Siphon Soul onto the Doom Guard. That might be an option, but I would feel that Dr. Boom is the obvious play. We know Cross has the BGH, he has the Hellfire to basically answer Dr. Boom in various ways.
So many possibilities.
Okay, so looks like a Dark Bomb is going to start us out. And follow that up by a Shadow Flame, which killed the board nicely. Now he's going to activate his Ancient Watcher. Looks like Hiramax is submitting a new deck. Hiramax will actually play tomorrow. And he already submitted one deck, but obviously these guys can change decks at any time before their actually group starts playing. So, nice. Hiramax is updating his deck, and anyone in group 4 that wants to submit their own deck, obviously go for it. Alright, so as far as this game, do we see... Looks like we're going to start with the Mortal Coil. That's really slick. Gets rid of that taunted guy. Ooh, and Jiraxis. Alright. So he's used both of his Void Callers. Yeah, he did. I was just thinking about that. So these demons, these huge 9-man demons, will have to get activated manually. Well, I guess the traditional way.
Almost out of time.
Now,
I have no
there we go, Sylvanas. Okay, so here we go. Molten Giant. That could be activated with 5 mana, so he might do a Jiraxis. Hopefully not Jiraxis. It's maybe a little bit too early. Obviously I want to get some Dr. Boom action, but Sylvanas does kind of block out the Dr. Boom. He's hovering over tap, so he might do a tap. As far as cards, let's take a look. This might be a fatigue level game. These guys are kind of even on cards. Looks like they've tapped a similar amount of times. He's gonna... Oh, it looks like he's just gonna trade in his stuff. And here we go with the Molten Giant for 4 mana. The BGH will probably take care of that. That means that he's not able to develop a huge demon behind that, and he might just do... He might just do his own? Okay. So he chooses to go with a Twilight Drake rather than a Molten Giant, but Swiftest gets a Mountain Giant. Now, okay, so let me kind of go over something that I remembered about this matchup is... The Demon Warlock is considered more of a mid-range matchup, where the Hand Warlock is considered more of a late-game matchup. And we've seen several times that the Hand Warlock will generally win this in the late game, and we're approaching that area. Oh wow, that's lethal. Wow, Cross gets perfect lethal on Swiftest. Bravo to him. We're just gonna chill here as these guys load up the next game. They have to use the exact same deck, so we're just gonna chill. Maybe let's take a look at the brackets. So obviously the brackets are updated. The current updates that we need to do is Weifu won 1 game against Tansoku, and Cross just won 1 game against Swiftest. But that's not the completion of their series. They still have to complete their series. So we're loading into the next game, and once we see those series completed, considering Weifu had some computer issues, which he's still trying to fix, it looks like, and once we see Swiftest finish this battle with Cross, then we'll be able to update those brackets. Now, as far as this hand goes, hopefully we'll see these guys come out with a little bit better start. The double Void Caller for Cross was kind of weird, and then Swiftest didn't get a lot of his mountain giants out, to be honest. He has a Twilight Drake and a mountain giant, so that's a really slick hand. We might see him like coin tap here, considering he has some huge turn 4 plays. He's gonna start with a zombie chow. Okay, that works, that works. Cross is probably gonna just tap. He has nothing to play, yep. Now Swiftest, he might just do a tap here and then coin out a Twilight Drake, or Azure, yeah, Twilight Drake next turn. Alright, now does, okay, so it looks like you keep life tapping for both sides. As you can see on the sidebar, we have a nice little series of blue, red, zombie chow, little action in there, so that's nice. So the first, like, real minion, I guess you would argue is a real minion, is the Void Caller. Trades very well with this chow. Now, Swiftest is going to go with a 3 mana mountain giant. That's gonna be a big deal. There's no Siphon Soul, there's no BGH. This mountain giant might be a big problem. He has a mountain giant to use when he gets low health, and he can trade in his it's a kind of a funky play because you can summon your huge demons, but you almost don't really want to summon them to this board. Decent play, Twilight Drake with 9. Now, how does this mountain giant trade? It's 1 damage off killing the Twilight Drake, so we might see. Okay, we might see a silence. I'm not sure. But he might save the silence for something else, considering this Warlock deck has plenty of silence targets with like Savannas, all these Void Callers, all the Twilight Drakes. So he's going to maybe Argus up his giant, and that would allow it to actually trade into the Twilight Drake, which really looks really slick. I like it. And plus it activates his Watcher, and I like that a lot, to be honest. Now, we could see an Imp Implosion finish off this mountain giant. I vote we see that. He might go with a Savannas, which will probably get silenced, but he could try for it.
So many possibilities.
He goes with the Savannas. I would feel more comfortable just from seeing both these guys' hands. I would feel more comfortable with a Imp Implosion.
So many possibilities.
I have no time for games.
But he chooses otherwise. We're probably going to see a silence, and I'm guessing that the trades will probably be mostly to face, but that will basically just activate the Molten Giants that, you know, Cross has 2 of already. So this is rather this is a huge power game, and these turns matter so much about how you do this trading and what cards you play. It looks like he's going to go with a safe option. Maybe just ignore Sylvanas, leave her there as a dead 5/5 minion. Yeah. And does he go? Oh no, okay. Alright then, so he chooses to trade his whole board. Cross gets a free Doom Guard, which is decent. I think he would probably want to save both his Mal'Ganis and Jiraxis for a little bit later, so I think the Doom Guard is good. Yeah, it doesn't trade real well with the Ancient Watcher, so he might just not trade it in just yet.
So many
Dr. Boom would allow it to trade well with the Boombots next turn. Yeah, okay, so he looks like he's gonna hold on this Doom Guard, which is really smart. Now, a Siphon Soul from Swiftest could be used, but there are bigger threats than this Dr. Boom. As you can see, there's 8/8s and 9/7s and some big threats, so Looks like he's only going to do his own Dr. Boom and not Siphon Soul this. He's going to start trading away. Okay, interesting. Rather interesting. So that's setting up a very awkward turn for Cross, and Swiftest played that very smartly. Now Imp Implosion could get lucky here, or even if it doesn't get lucky, he still has the 1 damage that he needs. Imp Implosion hits from 2 to 4. He needs 3 or higher, but if he gets 2, he can use this guy. He gets perfect 3. That's going to leave some nice dummy targets for his opponent's Boombots to hit. Okay, so the Boombot actually hits Doomguard. Now, does this Dr. Boom trade into the opponent's Dr. Boom, or maybe go with a Drake just to keep it alive? Looks like he's gonna throw his Doomguard into that Boombot. Yeah, these trades are very, very methodical. Okay, so yep, the dummy target worked. He kind of wanted the Boombots to hit that. Alright, so here comes the second Void Caller, which obviously can summon Mal'Ganis or Jiraxxus. Very, very fun. This game is really swingy right now.
I have no time for games.
Okay, so there goes Sylvanas. And Cross doesn't have a slick answer to it like Swiftest did. He has no silence just yet. And he has... oh man. So the Death Rattles, this one's going to go off first, summon a guy, and then this one will go off second to steal the guy. So he does not want to trade this in, trade his whole board in Sylvanas, that would be bad. Looks like he's going to just play Mal'Ganis as a 9-mana minion. That's going to juice up his Void Caller. Oh, wow. So is he going... wow, he's going to try to get lucky, and he does get lucky. I think that worked out fairly well for him. Now, if he trades here, his opponent will summon Jiraxxus. Yeah, that's the only demon for Swiftest. So this is a crazy game so far. With a lot of swing turns, some huge plays. And he's gonna go for face, I guess. This Mal'Ganis is obviously gonna have an answer from Swiftest by the Siphon Soul. That's gonna lock up 6 of his mana though. Maybe Cross is trying to get lucky to determine if Swiftest has actually an answer, or actually a demon in hand. He's not gonna play the luck game, he's just gonna let it slide. Now, does Swiftest want to summon his own Jiraxxus? Or does he just want to chill? He could just chill, keep the Jiraxxus as a portrait replacer rather than an actual minion. Mortal Coil's nice here. So he's actually... okay, so he's not going to trade in. He's just going to keep the minion there. Now Cross... he's going to tap. Maybe he healbots here just for the minion. Maybe he just Hellfires to get rid of that. But that will summon Jiraxxus, so like we said several times now. Rather hard turn. I think that he's probably leaning towards Hellfire, but he knows that he can't deal with whatever comes out. He knows that this hand Warlock does not run anything pretty much but Jiraxxus, and he can't really deal with that right now. Even though Jiraxxus only has 3 attack, but it has the 15 health, so it can just keep whacking away at that 3 attack for a long, long time.
I wonder.
And he probably wants to keep most of his Siphon Souls for the Giants. So Jiraxxus will probably just stay alive as a 3/15. So he's just going to sit on 8 mana. Pass the turn over. Now here we go with Swiftest with his own plays. He's able to develop a Loatheb and a Sludge Belcher probably. Maybe even a Giant. Yeah. And I guess this is the part of the game where the hand Warlock kind of takes over in the late game. Ooh, and he top decks a Siphon Soul. Alright, so Siphon Soul not playable this turn. But that basically, that's basically lethal on board with the Hellfire and all this damage. This is 18 damage, he's at 19, the Hellfire will just finish him off. So what can Swiftest, or I mean Cross can summon an anti-Killbot, which then could potentially be taunted. Oh, but this is just interesting. Yeah, he's gonna go with a Killbot. That's gonna potentially save him from lethal. That still leaves 18. So it looks like he's like 3 or 4 damage off lethal. Maybe if he gets like a, I don't know, even Dark Bomb, a little bit short. So this is just to develop a Sludge Belcher, killing the Killbot. That's gonna set up potentially a nice Hellfire, but okay, he gets that for Shadow Flame. What minion would he want to use with that though? He needs a 4 attack minion or higher to use with Power Overwhelming to kill the Mountain Giant. He necessarily doesn't need to kill the Mountain Giant. He could probably live one more turn if it just actually. Yeah. This is difficult because if he Hellfires, that means Drax is going to come on board, and that's going to turn the board into 8 plus 3 plus 3, which is 14. So I don't know what Cross can do here to live. We might just might see GG. But we'll let him figure it out. Well, obviously he knows what he's doing. He's played this deck way more than I have.
Almost out of time.
He's gonna go with a Shadow Flame on. Okay, so that fixes all the problems. There goes Firaxis. That leaves the power on board only to 4 plus a 3, so he's way off lethal. He even taps just to kind of confirm. But that does kind of leave him with only 1 giant left. Swiftest might be looking to summon his own Molten Giants, considering he has way smooth control of the board. And he just did see a Shadow Flame. Yeah. That would basically put lethal back on the board.
Shields up.
And he chooses to taunt up his Molten Giant rather than his Draxus, which is rather interesting. I think that you would kind of want your Molten Giant to stay alive more than your Draxus, just considering the health and the attack difference. So Black Knight could be a swing card here, but we know that Cross doesn't have it. He's forced to Hellfire. I think he's just going to kill himself.
So many possibilities.
He might try to set up an egg before Hellfiring, but I don't know if there's a way for him to live. Siphon Soul does help. Looks like he's trying to figure out the combination of Siphon Soul, Hellfire, and Molten Giant. He's gonna go with that combo. Okay, so that leaves 6 on board, plus 6. Okay, so that looks like it's lethal. Yeah, Swiftest got this. He just has to attack, use both his Hellfires, and that's GG. We'll let him play that out, and once he does play that out, we'll just mark up his win. There we go. So this series did result in a tie. Both players won 1-1, and that means that we're probably going to finish off the series versus Weifu versus Tansoku, which ended abruptly from some tech issues, so we'll be right back. Okay, we're able to load into the next game with Weifu versus Tansoku. They're just finishing up their game that they kind of had abruptly ended a little bit earlier. This game is currently Weifu with 1 point. Tansoku is trying to get a rebuttal with his Druid that kind of been wrecking everybody. Tansoku is on the perfect score so far, but Weifu did take 1 game away from him when they first fought. Now this is the 2nd game, and it looks like Tansoku has kind of a trashy start. Way too many heavy drops. Hopefully he top decks some ramp. Weifu on the other end has some great drops. He has some board clear, he has some small minions, and Tansoku is just drawing dry. He doesn't get what he needs. Some nice minions, but not playable for a long time. Weifu even going with the turn 2 dagger attack. That's not normal. Ooh, Tansoku. Oh, Tansoku gets another force of nature, not what he needs. So it looks like his luck is kind of running out here. And Weifu's not even playing anything on turn 3. He knows that he doesn't need to play his Naked SI7 He's just going to chill with the dagger up. Leave his deadly poisons to have full potential. Ooh, okay. So Tansoku finally gets a ramp card on turn 3 when he actually does have to play, so rather some bad luck, but hopefully that can be used maybe turn 6 to even out his curve into a Dr. Boom or something like that.
Pay attention, class.
Weifu was able to develop a Violet teacher. Now, last time we saw Tansoku just kill this with some fun stuff, he might just do the same thing here with Force of Nature. Oh, never mind. He's gonna go with Dr. Boom. Alright, so going with the turn 4 Dr. Boom. Probably gonna leave his Shade and Stealth. Now, Weifu doesn't have a sap or anything, so we might just have to kill this the hard way, but he has plenty of spells to start summoning 1/1s. And Tansoku doesn't have a swipe just yet. So he's probably going to start out with the backstab, I would assume. And then do some oil dagger shenanigans. Yeah, here comes the backstab. But can he actually kill it? He would have to juice up his weapon. I guess he could just juice up his weapon twice with deadly poison. That would give him a 5-attack weapon to kill it. Then maybe just do a Farseer after that, considering he would, lose 7 life. Yep, I bet we see a Farseer after this.
I am ready to learn.
That gives some boombots a lot of little targets, a lot of little dummy targets for them to waste their boom charge on. The Violet Teacher's gonna start taking them out. Burst Bomb goes to face. Oh, he's even gonna heal. He's gonna heal his Violet Teacher so it doesn't go into swipe range. So hella smart. Weifu knows his stuff. Even though we see no swipe in, we see another ramp card, but turn 5, probably not what you want to see. He does have plenty of 5 drops, so I'm guessing. Okay, so he's probably gonna go with the Sludge Belcher, just considering he took his Shade out of stealth. I would almost guarantee a Sludge Belcher here. That would protect his Shade from any minions attacks, at least. But we know the rogues have a lot of ways to go past minions. So Tansoku was able to take out the Violet Teacher, but another one can be summoned just right here. And Weifu still has the 5-attack dagger, so we could see the whole board getting cleared here with a face attack on the Sludge Belcher. Nice. Now, how does he trade this? Does he throw
Pay attention,
2
class.
guys into it? I would think they might throw the Farseer into it and then use his guys to trade, just to leave most of them alive. But that would be maybe a little bit vulnerable to swipe. So maybe just throw all 3 guys in. Yeah, it looks like he's just gonna throw all 3 guys in. Hopefully swipe won't be an issue for him now. Sludge Belcher's nice. I mean, Lothub's nice considering it challenges the Violet Teacher's spell potential. Now, Weifu's gonna actually answer with his own Sludge Belcher and go purely to face with everything and redagger. What? Now remember, we're approaching turn 9. Tansoku has 1/2 of his combo, and he has a minion on board, and usually just kills people. That's how he won his first 4 games, basically, just killing people straight out. he has to. I guess he's thinking about whether if he wants to hero power or not, but I think he should just lure, kill the Violet Teacher, and probably just call it a day. Obviously, he's trying to make this turn way more complicated than the way I see it. But you know, he's doing his thing. He's doing his, you know, Japanesey calculations and whatnot. We'll trust him on whatever decision he actually comes out of the abacus. Okay, so it looks like he finally figured it out, and he actually wants to hero power. Wow, very interesting. He's actually gonna throw. Looks like his cat. All right then. He throws his cat into the Lotheb to actually finish off with a hero power, put himself at 15, and with. So Weifu has no Blade Flurry, so we probably won't see a lethal, but damn close to be lethal. He could still prep. Okay, so never mind. He's just gonna SS7 agent with the combo. And that leaves Tansoku kind of just sitting there. He might be doing a Force of Nature next turn just to clear this board. I mean, he wouldn't even clear it then. He would still leave a 3-3. Yeah, I would. Yeah. He has to Force of Nature defensively, stay alive, and probably just hero power to face. The 3-3 will stay alive. Yeah, Force of Nature, forced to come out. Oh, what? A turn 8 wild growth. That has to be one of the strangest things I've ever seen. Okay, well that's going to allow him to Ancient of Lore and Shade in the same turn. And I guess that's his desperation call to say, I need the Shade to stick, I need the Lore to actually get me the second half of the combo, and that is his desperation move to actually win. A turn 8. That is the... Okay, so a turn 8 wild growth is definitely going into my personal little archive of weird things, but I guess it works. So Weifu's just going for some cycle, maybe some double cycle here. He knows he doesn't have lethal, but he's just gonna keep lethal present on the board. Now Tansoku. Aye, man, you're getting... Maybe he's forced to heal even with Ancient of Lore and just pray to God that he top decks his Savage Roar next turn, or he's gone. Even if he does heal, he might just still be dead, considering the oil is in hand. Yeah, he has to heal here. Maybe he's thinking about doing Force of Nature defensively again. That would be viable, but hopefully not, considering that is his win condition. If he does that, he's playing not to lose, but he's playing not to lose, and he's not playing to win, so... Oh my god, is he gonna Force of Nature defensively? Oh my god, dude. And then is he... Oh my god. No way. That's his win condition gone. He's looking to win in the super long game by basically almost fatiguing out the rogue, even though we're nowhere near that. The rogue can't get anything done. He's gonna prep sprint here. It's gonna leave him 6 mana, plenty of mana to play whatever comes out. Oh my god, a heal bot. That's gonna be devastating for Tansoku. Well, I guess health doesn't even matter for Weifu anymore, considering Tansoku's just gonna play the control game here on out. He's not gonna go for a burst combo. He can't anymore. He's just gonna put minions on board, and he's just gonna try to survive as long as possible until he has enough minions on board from, you know, standard minions, and then do a Savage Roar combo then. Not any Force of Nature combo, so... Alright, I guess Tansoku hopefully he's able to pull that out now.
Choose soon.
Okay, so Weifu's gonna start with the Thanos probably. Now, does he follow that up with a backstab fan of knives maybe? That'd be really slick. Allow him to cycle a little bit. Get rid of this minion that could potentially be Savage Reward. And, ooh, he gets his Blade Flurry. And with double oil, that means... that means lethal at any time. I mean, even through a taunt, I would think. Oh, taunt would be a little difficult. But, you know, in theory. So I think he has to taunt here or he's just gone. That would... yeah. So we might do taunt, shade, hero power, the Thanos. I think that's his only winning, or that's his only surviving play. I guess is the best way to say it. Look, hopefully he feels the same way. Trying to figure this one out.
What to do?
Oh my god, he's gonna heal. I think that's lethal. Now, Weifu can juice up his weapon. Oh, he doesn't have a weapon equipped. That's gonna really block him out. That means that he can't do a Blade Flurry after doing double oil. Okay, so I guess Tansoku just did stay alive with that play. Even a sap for a taunt that could potentially come out next turn. Okay, so I think he has to dagger up.
So many options.
There's a lot of options that Weifu could do. He's obviously in the driving seat with card advantage and health advantage. And just to remind everyone, this is game 2 against these guys. The first winner was Weifu, so Tansoku is trying to even out this little series, and that would essentially leave him at a tie.
Choose soon.
Okay, so he's going to Shredder.
This guy's tough.
Oh wow. So it looks like he's just trying to get minions on board, be oiled up next turn. He chooses not to dagger up himself, considering he should have enough mana to do that. Savage Roar finally comes in hand, a little bit late, buddy, but I guess it works halfway through. Now Tansoku, oh man. Will he go with a taunt or a heal? I think that is basically the defining decision. With a heal, go up to 15. You can't kill anything on board, so you're gonna eat 8 on board. Plus the hand is gonna be able to generate. This is like a 9 damage card right there. So yeah, you're gone. He's gonna go with the taunt. I think taunt might be a little bit better. But it's hard to say. He's already seen one sap. He could see the second one. Obviously, he doesn't. Weifu doesn't have it, so.
Time waits for no one. Where shall I strike?
So he goes with the taunt and the shade. Hero power to face. That's not going to be lethal with Savage Roar next turn, even if everything survives. We know that probably nothing will survive, not even Tansoku himself after this turn. Now, how does he want to start the combo? He needs to combo. I'm not sure. He's going to choose the dagger up first. That doesn't start the combo. Maybe just an Abyss? Abyss for 2. Trader Shredder in. Oh, this for face. Okay then. Oil goes on to the SI7 agent. Okay then, yeah, that's lethal right there. So Weifu's going to take game number 2. And that leaves Weifu with the advantage in the series. So we're going to take a quick look at the brackets real fast after we finish that last matchup. We're going to have Weifu's fight against Swiftest next, and then that will start off Weifu's little run of terror that he's already started against Tansoku. So here we go. We're gonna load into the game. It's loading right now, and let's get to it. These guys have to use the same submitted decks as always, so nothing fancy here. It's the same decks that these guys have been playing. Swiftest is going to be playing as Hand Warlock versus Weifu's Oil Rogue. And let's take a quick look at the brackets now. The winner of this, let's see. So Weifu has plenty of games still yet to play. Swiftest needs to get a win, essentially keeping the running. Remember, the top 3 players advance. So this is kind of, you know, Weifu's onto a good thing here. Swiftest needs to kind of get a win here to stay in the tournament competitively.
The pleasure is mine.
And they're saying hi to each other, so bravo to them. Swiftest does have a decent hand. He has, you know, his Ancient Watcher to start him off. He has a Taunt Giver to activate it, and he has a Mountain Giant. So I like his hand so far. He's obviously going to tap for a few turns, get his Mountain Giant down to 4 mana for turn 4. As far as Weifu's hand, he also has some nice low mana stuff. I'm going to answer Tansoku's question real fast. So, what Tansoku is kind of asking for is Tansoku has played 4 games, or actually 3 games so far, and if Nick Tourette doesn't show up, he is basically finished his games, and he's in a nice spot with 2 wins, so he's looking good to actually move on throughout the group, or past the group. And we'll have Weifu finish off his games. And then that will pretty much be the night. We'll have one more match after this, which will be Weifu versus Cross, and that will be the last game. So we got this one, and then the next 2, so 4 games in total. And that'll be it. Unless Cross obviously logs on, then we'll have to have Cross battle everyone, which will not be a big deal. It'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully he actually does show up. But as far as this game, obviously turn 3 tap. You know, the Rogue just turn 2 daggered up. So now we into turn 3. Maybe just a naked Farseer's to play. He was trying to coin out something, but I don't know what he's trying to do with that. Okay, so I am kind of hesitating towards saying that we might have lagged out. I don't think Weifu would have taken this long to choose his turn, but we will wait for the rope to tick down before relogging the game, or reloading the game. Maybe Weifu is having some issues with his internet again, or something like that. He was having some tech issues a little bit ago. Hopefully they're resolved, but if they aren't, we'll definitely work with him. We could even reschedule, considering he's been very cooperative before. Alright, so does the first threat that gets developed, is it going to be a Mountain Giant or a Twilight? We know Rogue generally doesn't run Silence. Swiftest probably knows this. He's probably been watching the stream, so he probably knows the deck of Weifu fairly well. And now this can potentially get... actually... No, looks like he's just going to go with the Prep Sprint. Absorb the 8 damage. Oh, he's going to go with a... Okay, he's going to go with the Tinker Sharpsword Oil. Now, it looks like a backstab and then trade in his Farseer. that will basically mean... Oh, wow. What is he doing?
We hunger for vengeance.
Is he going to trade in his face or the Farseer? Looks like the face. Okay. And leaving the Farseer alive. Rather interesting. Now, Swiftest is kind of probably scared of that. He might be forced to silence the Farseer. He could just Hellfire, kill it. But beyond the Hellfire, maybe just passing the turn?
So many possibilities.
I think he probably has to Hellfire this. We see Weifu's hand is kind of dry, but he has the prep sprint to reload it. And a coin to play whatever he does get.
So many possibilities.
Looks like, I'm not sure. He could also taunt up his Ancient Watcher. That would obviously probably die to the weapon at 6 attack. So the Hellfire, I think, is a better play, and he does kind of agree with me. The Thalnos draws a Fan of Knives, and he gets another Deadly Poison. So here we go with the Prep Sprint. Now, will we see him just attack face with the 6 damage? Probably not. I don't think it's safe to get a Hand Warlock that low. Yeah, he goes with the Prep Sprint. That's nice. That's a 7 agent first one. This second. Sap third. Sap's gonna be big against this Hand Warlock. Okay, so Swiftest looks like he wants to develop. Is he gonna taunt that? Oh my god. If he plays a Twilight Drake, that's a misplay. He could have gave his Twilight Drake 9 health rather than 8, so a slight misplay by Swiftest. It probably doesn't matter too much, but that 1 extra health could mean that it gets to attack 1 more time, and I mean, that could be a big deal. But Swiftest may be feeling a little bit nervous, considering he's on the verge of getting kicked out. He needs to win this game, or he needs to at least tie this game and have some other opponents lose their games. Essentially, get out of this. Okay, but Weifu, he has the Violet Teacher, and he has plenty of spells, including the coin, but he wants to answer that Twilight Drake. So we might see him do some combo with a SA7 agent, and then run his face into the Twilight Drake. That would kill it at nice 8 damage. And then development beyond that, probably not much, considering he has to consume a lot of mana to develop the combo SA7 agent. Is he just gonna... Okay, is he gonna coin out? Oh, he's gonna sap it out. Alright, interesting. Sapping a non-taunted minion that doesn't oppose too much threat to your board, but lets you keep alive your Violet Teacher for a while. Ooh, okay. Looks like Swiftest is just going to develop a Sludge Belcher rather than going for a Siphon Soul onto the Teacher. Interesting. So Blade Flurry could be huge here, but we know Weifu doesn't have it. I guess he could try to draw it with a Fan of Knives. But I kind of felt that Swiftest kind of overcommitted to the board there. Overcommitted to a Blade Flurry there, but obviously he's not going to get punished, so he knows what he's doing. He's playing the angles.
So many options.
So Weifu's going to start with the Fan of Knives.
I'm ready to learn.
Maybe go with an Abyss onto one of the taunts now. But beyond the Abyss, I'm not really sure. Oh, excuse me. You might coin out. Yeah, you could coin out the SI7 agent just to get more 1/1s and kill off the second half of the Sludge Belcher.
I am ready to
And
learn.
it looks like that's a possibility.
Mistakes. I am ready to learn.
This guy's toast.
Who is he gonna? Okay, yeah, he does get it. And you notice he's saying that mistakes were made. So he's kind of sad about that, but looks like the Violet Teacher will finally die. But how does Swiftest kind of develop his own board now that he has killed the major threat, the Violet Teacher, but he's sitting at 17 life, kind of safe for a hand warlock.
So many possibilities.
Oh, he's even a Shadow Flame. Okay, so interesting. Life tap. Thanks for watching Shadow Flame. Nice. So basically, the only minion that needed to die there, above the 1 life, was the SS7 agent. So interesting. He could have just Shadow Flamed his slime, but that would have left the SS7 agent alive. But it works in the end. He kills everything, and he leaves the little slime to be annoying for the rogue. Notice how the rogue has this six attack dagger that he basically got on, like, I don't know, boys. What was it, like turn 3? So the 6 attack dagger has been sitting here since like turn 3. Actually, it might have been like turn 4 because he killed a Twilight Drake with it. A sprint's gonna start us off. Now he has 1 mana to play this out. He could do a backstab, but I'm sure he's not too scared of the slime. And he just holds out the 1 mana, so not a big deal. Dr. Boom, nice. So Twilight Drake is going to come out with 8 health, and a Loatheb to block out any spells, and that is really going to block out this rogue. He might do he could do like a Shredder plus a Violet Teacher, and then do like a South Sea Deckhand, kill the taunt, and then have your 6 attack weapon kill the Loatheb. But obviously you're getting really low in that circumstance. You're only going to be at 12 life. I think that we're almost guaranteed to see the Shredder and guaranteed to see the Violet Teacher, even though the Violet Teacher will probably just straight out die without summoning any guys. Shredder, obviously, probably even more of a guarantee than the Violet Teacher, considering it's not a risk to the board at all.
Pay attention, class.
So Violet Teacher's gonna start us off. Shredder as well. Does he use his 1 man on Tausi? No, he's gonna hold it. Okay. So 10 damage on board, no damage from the hand. Ooh, that's probably a pretty good minion. He cannot attack passive with his slime. Oh my god, is Swiftest just overcommitting to the hugest Blade Flurry of his life? Oh my god, and if he uses the Drake to top deck it, would that be the saddest time ever? He even has 2 cycle cards. He has the Drake, and he has the Phantom Knives to cycle. He needs a Blade Flurry, or he's a goner. He has plenty of chance to get it, so we're not too worried about it just yet. Okay, he's gonna start with the Drake. Wow, this rogue has drawn a lot more. As far as cards go, we have 6 for the rogue and then 14 for the warlock. And he gets the Blade Flurry. So that's going to be just up to a 7 damage Blade Flurry. Even though it doesn't matter past 5 for the board, but the Dazzler Drake will juice up a little bit.
Choose soon.
Yeah, Blade Flurry. Alright, so what does he do beyond that? With his 3 mana, he might just Will he just dagger up? I would think he would just dagger up and save the dagger, set up lethal next turn probably. Okay, so Swiftest is able to develop a nice taunt here. We did see the sap come out earlier on like something silly, but we see the second one right there. So is this gonna be... Okay, 6 on board. From the hand we have 4. And that's gonna count as like 6 damage right there. Another 2. I guess he's going for lethal. We don't really even have to count it. He's just gonna do it. Yeah, looks like it is, boys. Alright, so Weifu's gonna take game 1. Alright, we're loading the next game. We knew that wouldn't be long. Usually we just hang out, but that time we decided to have me shut up for a bit and watch some Rihanna, I guess we watched.
Your soul shall be mine.
Shout out to Haku Ho for actually DJing with us tonight. Let me make sure I said his name right. Hakuho, yeah, Hakuho. Cool. He's another Japanese player, but he doesn't play in this tournament. He just he's a big supporter, which is really nice. Always glad to have him. Obviously, these guys are playing the exact same deck. First match did go to Weifu, the Oil Rogue. That's his name. We're pronouncing this as Weifu, even though it's very, very hard for us Americans to read. He is Taiwanese player. Swiftest he has some nice threats. He has the Twilight Drake in his hand. Weifu has a nice 4-drop himself, but as far as a 3-mana turn, I don't know what. We might just see him attack and then just redagger. He's 1 mana off being able to prep sprint, and he doesn't really want to lay down a naked SI7 agent. He doesn't need to abyss anything. He probably doesn't want to abyss the face. 1 mana off, obviously Shredder as well, so I think his only option is to attack face and redagger.
Choose soon.
Oh wow, naked SI7 agent. Alright.
Ha, this guy's toast.
Maybe just to start rolling in the damage and force Swiftest to actually react to this rather than just life tapping. Looks like Swiftest wants to do a turn 3 Twilight Drake, which might have like 7 health if I'm not mistaken. Oh, never mind. He's gonna actually just Dark Bump SI7 agent away. That means next turn he'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, looks like a 7-0 Twilight Drake to play out. Now Weifu has a nice turn 4 play. I don't think that he's really debating this too hard. He's probably just making sure he doesn't play too fast. We've seen a lot of professional players play out their stuff too fast, and Weifu's definitely just taking his time, making sure everything is done right. Now Swiftest developing, looks like he's going to go for 7 health Drake. Now Weifu, ooh, top deck to Lotheb. That's definitely a nice turn 5 play. But does he want to do something else to get rid of this Drake? He could like Deadly Poison, Abyss, and then throw his Shredder in. But that kind of leaves him with, 2 mana just hanging there.
So many options. So many options.
Yeah, taking this time to figure this one out. I vote he does Lotheb. He might consider clearing the Drake like we mentioned before with the Vis. Maybe he has some internet issues. Oh, okay. Looks like he's just gonna do Lotheb.
So many options.
And going with face for Shredder. Alright then. Taking his time, doing it right, and makes a solid decision in the end. Now, as far as Swift's side, we see a Sludge Belcher that looks rather attractive, and we also see a Sun Fury Protector that looks really nice as well. The Argus would trade well with the Sludge Belcher. I mean, the Lotheb. So he's probably going to do that trade. And that means that the Twilight Drake pretty much just traded 1 for 2 with being only 1 mana, or I mean 4 mana. So Azure Drake's gonna start some cycle. I don't know what he wants to do after that. He might do like a Prep Abyss. Or maybe just like a Deadly Poison and attack his face in. I think that would be a little bit solider than the Prep Abyss. Oh, he's gonna do a Prep Blade Flurry, it looks like. Okay. Slick. That works. Alright, here comes the Sludge Belcher. And what beyond that? Looks like he's just gonna chill. Sludge Belcher is a really nice counter to Shredder, considering Shredder's gotten so popular. I mean, Sludge Belcher was even popular before. I mean, it's just a strong card all around. Prep Sprint, or actually just a Naked Sprint, is gonna start us off, considering he used the prep last turn for the Blade Flurry. And okay, so he gets a Fan of Knives, probably going to prep that out here just to kill off this first half of the Sludge Belcher, I mean both halves, without throwing both. Yeah, I would definitely like to see a prep Fan of Knives. Now he's probably going to, he could keep both of his minions alive by throwing in the Drake, only with 1 health, obviously, probably going to get Mortal Coiled, but he's probably thinking about how to trade this after he does the prep Fan of Knives.
Choose soon. So many options.
Okay, so he is just waiting to the last second to do it. So it looks like he's not going to do anything. He's just going to sit on his minions, let Swiftest do the trading for him. Dr. Boom, obviously on turn 7, huge play. Now if Weifu kind of doesn't do anything next turn, that might be a disconnect. I know that he had internet issues before. He has some technical stuff. So if that happens, we will basically try to run out the rest of the night and then have him battle at the very end. And if he hasn't fixed his issues, we'll try to work it out. Well, if he hasn't fixed his issues by the time that the end of the night comes,
Many options.
we'll have to give his points over to his opponents. Let me just send him a message real fast, just to make sure he's alright. Actually, never mind. Okay. He's going for a sap, so it looks like he's okay. Sapping a 1 health Sludge Belcher is strange, but is he going for a lethal right here? Nice, dude, nice. Yeah, go for that lethal, bro. Okay, here we go. He has no Blade Flurry, so only 1 weapon attack, but he has plenty of damage from his hand and plenty of damage on board, so hopefully, yeah, wow, way overkill even, 5. Alright, bravo to him. Weifu's gonna take that, the second game, and that leaves Swiftest with not many wins tonight. I think he did tie once. Actually, let's just take a look at the bracket. So we're gonna, so into that bracket, we will give Weifu 1 more win and Swiftest 1 more loss. So that kind of sucks. Anyway, so next game will be Weifu versus Cross. We'll go to a quick commercial break while we set that up and update the brackets. We'll be right back. Alright, here we go into the game. We got Weifu versus Cross. This is basically the last game of the night, unless Nick Tura actually logs on in the next like 10 minutes. Actually 20. This will take, these 2 games will take, you know, 20-30 minutes. So Nick Tura has some time, but I'm just going to assume that he's not going to log on. And these 4 players will be essentially the group. 3 of them move on. 1 does not move on. And okay, so let's take a look at the brackets while we wait for this mulligan to go through. This isn't that fun to watch anyway, so let me make sure this is adjusted right. Okay, so Swiftest is looking kind of sad. He needs, oh wow, so if Cross loses this game, that means that he'll basically be tied with Swiftest. And then we'll have to maybe look at the recording to see who had the most health, and which we haven't been recording the health, considering a tie is so unlikely. But if Cross gets a win or a tie, that means that Swiftest will not be able to advance, and those 3 boys, the Weifu, Tansoku, and Cross, will be our boys to advance into the bracket. But let's get back to the game. It's going up, so here we go. Alright, so this game, we need to get Cross's hand, don't we? My bad. There we are. Cross is running his demon deck. Weifu is running his oil rogue deck that he's been running all night. These guys submitted their 1 decks, and that's what they're playing with. As far as starting hands, I kind of, both of them have decent. I mean, they have little minions, they have little answers. Cross has his first initial minion, especially with the zombie chow. He might throw that out here. He might just use the card advantage. Oh yeah, he's gonna throw that out. That's gonna be nice. Okay, so then Twilight Drake next turn with like 8 health, so that's gonna be big. We might see, oh let me hide that, friendless. We might see a deadly poison go onto a fresh dagger to kill this zombie chow. We could see like a backstab and a dagger attack with a re-dagger. So plenty of options for Weifu to kill this, even if he does want to kill it. He doesn't even have to. It's a zombie chow. You could leave it alive for a little bit. No worries. So it looks like he's gonna go with one of my original plays is dagger up, deadly poison. Leaves you some options to kill like Farseers and stuff, whatever comes out of the Warlock's hand next. And as far as Cross goes, obviously Twilight Drake looks really solid here. The Rogue does have a sap for it, but sometimes you don't want to really sap Twilight Drakes. They're not considered, they're considered a big threat, but not like the biggest threat.
So many possibilities.
Cross, definitely think about this. I thought it would be a nice, easy play, but he's not gonna ruin a good turn by playing too fast. He's just gonna take his time, play it through properly.
So many possibilities.
I go down. So many possibilities, brother. Apparently here Max opened a trade on Sprinks, so shall we say grats to him? While we wait, let's say, yeah, let's be nice. There we go. Here Max is also a Japanese player that plays tomorrow, so he's obviously, and what he just said there is arigato. That means thank you in Japanese. Oh, did we just disconnect? Why hasn't... We might have disconnected, boys. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think we disconnected. Let's reload this. I think these boys would have played that out their hands a little bit sooner than that. So let's go to cross. Actually, let's get swiftest. What? I mean, wait for it. Oh, looks like we didn't disconnect. They just played really slow. Alright, and he did eventually throw it on the Twilight Drake. It just took him a while, I guess. Or maybe we did disconnect and he just did it quickly. And anyway, no matter. No worries. Win the game. We're fine. We're able to see everything. Blade Flurry does some serious work here, but it will summon a 4/4. But he could do like an SI7 agent. It would have to be like a SI7 agent. He would have to prep out the SI7 agent, essentially wasting the prep, wouldn't he? That's gonna be really awkward. So we might just see him.
Mistakes were made.
Okay, so Weifu's thinking mistakes were made. So we might go with a hero. We might just charge his face into the Drake. And then maybe develop an Azure Drake behind that. So Twilight Drake, yeah, I think that would be the play. It looks kind of weird, considering he needs to combo the SI7 agent, but to do that, he needs to, yeah, alright. Well, I mean, even if he did somehow get the combo off on the SI7 agent, then did a Blade Flurry, the 4 attack Nerubian Egg would still have 1 life left, so. Not the best play. I vote that he just smacks his face into the Twilight and then summons an Azure Drake. Oh, backstab. Okay. Oh, okay. I see. Nice, you got it all off. Prep Blade Flurry, and that does basically what we said, but he did it a lot better with, rather than using SS7 agent, he used backstab. So he did it a lot smoother than we just said. We're kind of stupid, so it works out. Alright, Cross gets a lucky 3. He needed either 3 or 4 considering he had the Mortal Coil. And now his hand looks fairly decent. He doesn't have any Void Collars. I think that's really what he wants, is some Void Collars, just to get the Doomguard out. But as far as Weifu's hand, he would probably like a Phantom Knives here, but you can't have everything in life, so maybe just a dagger up? Maybe I'm not sure. He would like to combo the SI7 agent with something, but he doesn't have a lot of like easy, simple spells to use. All of his spells are very situational. Man, I would love to see a step on the Doomguard, just to force them to have discard their cards again. I think that'd be really awesome. But he might do a step on something else. But we'll worry about that when we get there. Too soon to think about that.
Choose soon.
Alright, so yeah, Weifu has an interesting debacle here. We notice how this card actually is Warlock colored. So that's rather interesting. Okay. I think we just disconnected. Usually when we see errors like that, we disconnect. The Tinker Sharp's Oil was Warlock colored, and he used something for 6 mana, but we don't see it in the combat log here. So we just missed the Tinker Sharp's Oil. So we'll try to get this game to repair itself, but if we see Cross do something funky like not play a hand correctly, that means that we definitely disconnected. So hold on tight. And yeah, we see him down to 1 mana already, and we don't see anything in the log. So let's just reload this real fast. considering the no crucial turns were played. Okay, and we did see the oil go up considering the attack there. Alright, there we go. Nice and fancy. He did... Okay, nice. So we're gonna sap the egg back, kill the second taunted creature with the SI7 agent.
This guy's toast.
Maybe kill the Argus with your weapon. Oh, go to face. That's gonna activate those Moltons, bro, but I guess you're willing to take that risk. Here we go with the cheap Molten. He has plenty of stuff to taunt up to. He could even like... Oh, wow. Does he go Molten Healbot? Or does he go Molten Argus? Obviously he's gonna try to kill this SS7 agent before he gets oiled up. And a slippery SS7 agent is a huge problem. Whoa. What is that? Leaving it alive at 1 health.
That was a mistake.
Okay. Interesting mistake there, buddy. Huh. Alright, so it looks like, will Weifu actually punish this? I'm not sure. I think, you know, we saw the mistake emote come out from Cross,
Many options.
and obviously he meant to kill the SS7 agent. But what will happen to it now? Will it just kill the heal bot? So Cross just basically traded an imp for a heal bot if the SS7 agent kills that. But if Weifu chooses to oil up this SS7 agent, that could be even a bigger mistake than we originally predicted. Okay, so Azure Drake to start us off. Nice combo starter, but he's not able to play his oil if that. Doesn't have anything else to really start the combo anyway. Phantom Knives is nice here, but you don't really want to get that egg activated.
Choose soon.
Okay. Now, it looks like his... Oh man, that's interesting. He could Phantom Knives and then kill the Nerubian egg with his... Okay. I guess that works too. So the Nerubian egg is alive, it's gonna kill the Azure Drake. Okay, that's rather interesting. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, looks like he's just gonna Shadow Flame the Nerubian egg after doing... Whoa, what? He Shadow Flamed his Argus to leave the Azure Drake alive. Wow, alright. Fun stuff from these guys. But now Weifu's down to 7 life, and a Doomguard is in hand, plus Jiraxis, so 5 damage from the Doomguard. It could discard the Jiraxis, which obviously can't be played on the same turn,
Options.
but that is potential damage from the hand if one of these minions, or if both these minions die. But as far as answering the board,
Attention, class.
I'm not sure what he can do. He's gonna start with the Phantom
I'm ready
Knives.
to learn.
Okay, so it looks like he's gonna throw his face into the Nerubian, or maybe throw the Azure Drake in there. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, he's gonna leave his face intact. Now Cross. Oh wow. Okay, so Void Collar finally comes in hand. So we might see a Twilight Drake Void Collar. And okay.
So many possibilities.
Rather interesting. He doesn't want to go with Jiraxis. That would just lower his health down to 15 rather than 18. Kind of dangerous against a rogue. Probably leave Jiraxis for the extra 3 damage lethal that he tries to push. Twilight Drake will only have 5 health, so not the greatest. It'll just be a standard Yeti. Now Void Collar is nice. he has 3 demons in his hand. All 3 cards of his are demons. So whatever it summons is probably going to be nice. I would assume that depending on whose turn it is, he would want the Doom Guard first and leave the other 2 to actually be played out manually. Okay, so as far as Weifu's turn, he has a heal bot to get out of any crazy Hellfire lethal range. But that doesn't essentially allow him to set up a lethal next turn. Maybe that's what he's trying to do with a sprint, considering he has the oil and plenty of minions to actually use it on.
I am ready to learn.
Choose soon.
Okay, so he starts out with the sprint, gets a Farseer. Ooh, and we notice how this card is Warlock colored. That's kind of a bug, and when he actually plays this card, he might just disconnect from this game when he plays it. Hopefully it'll fix itself in that time. But we have to keep a watch out. When he plays that preparation, we might disconnect from the game. So Hellfire is going to go down. Now Doomguard is lethal. Nice. Okay, so Cross is going to take game 1 against Weifu. Alright, hope you enjoyed your 10 seconds. We're in the game 2 against Weifu and Cross. We need... Okay, let's take a quick look at the brackets. We need Cross to... well, he's already 1-1, so that kind of leaves Swiftest kind of high and dry. He needed Cross to lose twice to actually be in the running, but Cross is already 1-1, so let's take a look at the game. So it looks like Swiftest might be kind of not moving on, which is alright. I mean, we've seen Swiftest a lot. Swiftest has come on and cast with us several times, so he's kind of a bro of this stream, but you know, gotta let the better players play. So I kind of feel it's the hand block deck. Like last night, we didn't see the hand block player. I know it was Nato was a Bullet Priest that, or Bullet Shaman or Bullet Paladin that get through. Yeah. Anyway, so back to this game. Some big threats from Cross coming already. He has the nice turn 1 Chow. Now, I bet that we see just maybe one more life tap. Maybe he coins out 1 Drake, or maybe does double tap and leave the Drakes at high health as possible. Okay, so what is Weifu basically thinking about right now? Maybe he's thinking about his turn 3. Maybe he's thinking about whether to attack here or not, considering he doesn't really have a good turn 3 play. He might just be forced to dagger up next turn anyway.
Choose soon.
So he's actually going to attack the Zombie Chow. Rather interesting. And is that basically saying that I'm going to use my face to kill it over several turns, or maybe use the South Sea Deckhand to kill it? So Cross obviously tapping on 2, nice and easy. Now, will we see Cross actually go for a coin Drake next turn? I'm not sure. Looks like Weifu's going to use his South Sea Deckhand. That seems strange to me. I don't know about you guys, but I guess it works for him. Sets up a nice dagger, and as far as turn 4 plays, he's kind of lacking, but hopefully he gets something soon. Now, will Cross coin out a Drake here? He could just keep tapping, it'd be fine, but he chooses to coin it out. That's going to leave double Drakes on the field, basically with the same... Actually, the other Drake will have a little higher life, but yeah. Okay, so nice 7 health Drake. Now, sap, double sap can be used, or 1 sap in the next turn, but I'm not sure if you really want to sap a Drake. You probably want to sap a Giant, or maybe even like a Mal'Ganis or something, but maybe he's just gonna go for it. And I guess the other 2 mana, besides the potential sap, he's just going to hero power, so that's what he's doing with his little arrow there, is just going to hero power face, dagger up, and pass the turn. He's not going to use the sap, so I think that's smart. He's just going to let the drakes hit him in the face several times. And here we go with the second drake. The exact same health at 7. Okay. Now, Weifu is able to start, doing Azure Drakes of his own start cycle. But obviously the Azure Drakes will die pretty quickly, considering, Cross already has a board developed. And even if the Violet Teacher comes down next turn, Cross can even juice up his own Azure Drakes to 5 attack to kill it. He has Mortal Coils in hand as well, so I like Cross's position quite a lot this game.
So many options.
I bet he feels pretty comfortable himself just seeing a Azure Drake come out and a pass. So he's gonna trade, and a Sludge Belcher to protect his 3 health guy from any daggered weapons or anything. Deadly poison daggers. Violet Teacher along with an Abyss will kill it, but obviously we talked about how the Violet Teacher can die straight away with the Mortal Coils, Arguses, whatever Cross chooses to use.
I wonder.
Pay attention,
I mean, he could even Argus up his Sludge Belcher and then use a Mortal Coil. I mean, he has plenty of options. He's gonna start with the sap rather than the Abyss. So getting rid of the higher health Drake. Now, is he gonna prep Abyss? Okay. So getting rid of both Drakes in a different way, sapping one, killing the other, summoning 3 little dudes. Now, that kind of leaves Cross an interesting position. We might see him throw a Sludge Belcher in and then do a Hellfire to kill all the 1/1s. That'll leave him with the Slime and 2 mana to probably tap. I vote he does that. He's probably going to come up with a better, more creative play, but that's the play I see so far. He could just double coil the 1/1s down, but
So many possibilities.
I think he's probably debating the double coil, or a Hellfire. He's gonna start out with the Hellfire. That means that he's probably gonna trade this. Oh, he's gonna double coil and keep his Sludge Belcher alive. Nice. Like I said, he comes up with the better creative plays, and I guess this works. It allows him to still cycle, and allows him to keep his 3 attack guy alive. Now the rogue is down to 16 life. Azure Drake probably gonna start us off. But beyond that, he would like to do a Phantom Knives for 2 damage, but 1 mana short. Hopefully he doesn't sap a 2 health Sludge Belcher. That'd be kind of tragic in my mind. And he chooses to do a Thalnos, so that works as well. Now Cross. He could Argus up this guy, get an extra attack. He could do a Twilight Drake and just attack face. He's obviously very comfortable with the taunt up and at 23 life. And the rogue only has 4 cards. You kind of want to feel more threatened when they have more cards and more mana.
I wonder. So many possibilities.
Alright, so as far as my vote, I would say, let's see. Rather sticky turn. I don't. He might. I think that he should just do like a tap, a Drake, and go for face with your Sludge Belcher. That would develop your board nicely, develop your hand nicely, and you probably feel safe doing that, even though there is double spell damage on the board. Maybe he just attacks. Okay, so he's probably going to attack at least his Sludge Belcher into the Thalnos. Just get rid of, yeah, get rid of 1 spell damage. That feels a little bit better to me. Ooh, okay, so this is interesting. Double Phantom Knives with 1 spell damage on board could be a big deal. You could even do like a Phantom Knives and then backstab the... Actually, maybe you start with a backstab on the Drake. I was thinking you could backstab the Nerubian Egg token. He's gonna start with the smacking his face into the Sludge Belcher, put him down to 13 life. But hopefully life isn't too relevant against this non-bursty Demon Warlock. Okay, that works. Now, how does he want to trade his Azure Drake? He's gonna do a backstab and then maybe another fan. Or I guess just Lotheb. Okay, okay. Now does he trade his Azure Drake in? Yeah, he does. Okay. Now that means that Cross can juice up his own Twilight Drake with an Argus to kill the Sludge Belcher. I mean the Lotheb. And also develop a new... Yeah, I like this. This looks really good. Nice and simple. Deals with the board, builds up your own board really nicely. Now, the other Phantom Knives is going to be crucial here. But that only will kill 1 minion. Will be a nice cycle as well, though. He's going to start with the backstab. That's going to kill... Now, allow Phantom Knives to kill 2 minions. He might even sap the Nerubian Egg, which would be really slick as well. Nullifying the taunt effect. Blade Flurry, okay, so... Ash is gonna heal himself up. Leave the taunt basically there. Ooh, Jiraxis on turn 9. Probably doesn't want to play that considering you would, you know, deal 6 damage to yourself. So we might see like a Sylvanas, and then he's almost able to taunt Sylvanas, 1 man off, but he doesn't really even need to taunt her necessarily. We might see like a tap Sylvanas. I think that's the solidest play, tap Sylvanas. He's probably gonna come up with something crazy though. Maybe a Sylvanas and a naked BGH. You've already seen, you know, a lot of Phantom Knives. Obviously, the Blade Flurry is there, but, you know, Cross doesn't know that. We have to be quiet.
I have no time.
Okay, so it looks like he goes with my original play about the tap Sylvanas. Go into face. Alright, so Weifu is... Okay, so he finally gets a weapon juicer with that deadly poison, but he can't juice up his weapon really enough to do much. I guess he could do like a Blade Flurry and a Vis, but he can't. Rather interesting. You would want to trade your Healbot into the egg first, just to have maximum effectiveness on the Blade Flurry, but that will leave your Healbot alive for whenever Sylvanas does die. So, rather interesting. We'll let him figure this one out. We could just see a sap on either target. Either target is survivable for a sap. Maybe just develop his own board with a Ancestral or Earthen Ring Farseer and a Dagger. So, Sylvanas does get sapped. Now, will Weifu not attack this? Okay. Now, here we go with an Abyss probably. Just to kill that threat. Yep, and he clears it nicely. The Void Caller is in hand with both Drax and Mal'Ganis now. Sylvanas, okay, so it looks like a nice Hellfire turn. He might start with a tap. He realizes that the rogue only has 2 cards, so he's probably not too worried about getting lethal down at like 15 life. So he's probably going to sacrifice his life a little bit here.
I wonder.
So starting with the tap and going into a Hellfire. Maybe just a Void Caller after that. Maybe even a Molten Giant. Wow, okay. So debating whether the Void Caller is more relevant or the Molten Giant.
So many possibilities. Almost out of time.
And he goes with the Molten Giant. Rather the fun play, so this is good. We like these fun plays. Sprint is going to be nice. Sprint probably has to pick up a Sap as the most optimal card. As far as card draw, let's see where these guys are. 11 for the Warlock, and 7 for the Rogue. So Deadly Poison... Is this going to be... Is he trying to reach for lethal? No, he has the prep. He needs more mana.
So many
He could
options.
potentially get lethal next turn, considering he has so many weapon enhancements. And I mean, even if Cross does taunt, he would have to heal. Blade Flurry does not care about taunts. Oh my god. This is gonna be, what, an 8 damage weapon?
Choose soon.
Yeah. Alright, so Cross is almost dead here. He has to... I guess he can play Mal'Ganis? Now, that would be interesting. If he played Mal'Ganis, obviously the Blade Flurry will kill it, but will that actually still... Okay, so he can do Jiraxis. That's probably safer. Okay, nice.
You face Jiraxis, Eladon Lord of the Burning Legion.
Okay, so does that mean that Weifu... Oh man, sorry. Weifu is just not able to take this one out. Shredder looks good. That will allow him to live one more turn. But, okay. But Cross is able to taunt up his own minions while defending himself. I mean, Doomguard is 1 mana, I mean 1 damage off. He has 3 damage attack, plus the Doomguard is 5, so he's 1 damage off lethal right now. But he has the Mal'Ganis to protect himself, he even has the Sylvanas with the Taunt Givers, so...
How shall I destroy you?
he should be fine. Now, Woodley do like Mal'Ganis and then use his weapon to attack the Shredder? I think that would be really slick. I think he's seen both Saps too. So he's probably not worried about Sap. He's probably counting way better than I am, so, you know, that's the thing. So he chooses not to attack the Shredder with Mal'Ganis to protect him from the damage. Ooh, okay. So Mal'Ganis is gonna come down. Interesting. So okay. So I guess Weifu can kill Mal'Ganis by using the Blade Flurry to actually combo out the Sharp Sword Oil, and that would be, oh man. And then after he does that, he can just weapon up again, attack and put him down to 5 health. Oh man, this is just crazy. This game is so close. He has to do it. He has to Blade Flurry the combo piece. Yeah. So next turn, that means that he has to draw like a sprint to combo out an abyss. And I don't know if we've seen both of each, but he has 5 cards left. Actually, okay, so alright, yeah, there goes, yeah, okay, so nice. Cross has lethal with Doomguard. And Cross is gonna take game 2.
My shield for Argus.
Crazy game, but Cross is able to take it. That is our last game for the night, everyone, so